Greetings, APC 440. I want to introduce you to a completely optional tool that might help you with completing your labs and your website. That tool is Visual Studio Code. It is available for free from Microsoft. The slang for it, a lot of people call it the blue icon as opposed to the purple icon, which is the Visual Studio Professional. Visual Studio Code is all you need for this course, and it will do a fantastic job. Feel free to just Google it, and if you have any installation problems or questions, there are about a gazillion YouTube videos where some 15-year-old will teach you how to install it. But it's pretty easy. You find your operating system, click, download, run. The tricky part comes with setting up the live server, and I'll show you how to do that in this video. It is a really cool tool. Now, the way I'm going to implement Visual Studio Code, or suggest you do that, is by showing you an example of coding from the Rescue Lab. I'm going to be using my code sample from after Lab 3. I've been coding along with you. So mine is probably very similar to yours. So here I am in Visual Studio Code. And the way you open things in Visual Studio Code is a folder approach, which is extremely fitting for this web development course and the web development projects we've been working on. So I'm going to open a folder. I'm going to navigate to my desktop, which is where I put it for this video so that it was easy to find. Here it is, Rescue Example after Lab 3. I'm going to select that folder and boom, all my files and folders are there. Now, the first time you open it, they might not all be open. You might have to double click and open them, or shift click and get them all open, or whatever you need to do to get them open for the first time. But once they're open, you can now access the files very easily by just clicking on the different files, which I noticed even the instructor was having some challenges managing the logistics of all his various windows. VS Code makes that file management very easy because all your files are just tabs, and you can go in between tabs and make it super smooth and easy to use. I have the index.html here. If I wanted to make a change, for example, I wanted to write my name right here. When I made that change, you'll notice it goes to like a little, there's a dot indicating that, hey, there is something here that's not saved. And you can work on multiple files and change things in multiple locations and have those multiple dots there. And that just means that work hasn't been saved. It's still kind of like tentative. There is an easy way to save. Control S does a nice simple save, but what I love is the chord. What I mean by chord is you hit Control K first, and then you release Control K, and then you type S. They call that a chord. So I'm going to hit Control K, and then after I hit Control K, I just tap an S, and you notice it saved the work. The Control K combined with a quick pause and the letter S saved all the files, which is really cool and especially useful when we go to live view in just a second. So you could watch the video and follow along. The lab video works great with this IDE. You're able to keep up and do the files, but there's another feature that I really like about this Visual Studio Code, and that's the ability to use something called Live Server. Live Server is an extension. In the VS Code world, there's all kinds of extensions. In fact, you can get an extension for Django and other things as well. But for this tutorial, I suggest you consider using an extension called Live Server. Live Server is a very, very popular extension. You can see here 74 million downloads. How can you go wrong? You just click on it, wait a little bit, and it will install it. Now, I already have Live Server on my computer, and what that gives me, once I have Live Server installed, I'm Going to go out of extensions and go back to the Explorer view so I can see all my folders. What I can do then is I can click where it says Go Live, and this little Go Live on the very bottom lower right-hand corner of your IDE pushes that page in its current state into your browser. And so here I am in my default browser. Oh, you get to see all my favorites. I should have hid those. Sorry about that. Now TMI, right? Okay, so this is my website that I made in the lab. And it's kind of cool because it's just one click and I can go to it. So if I wanted the About Us page up too, I like using that. I like using that, kind of expand it and kind of shift it that way so I can have more than one page up. When I went to the contact page, for example, it's all working absolutely awesome. If I wanted to see if I was able to get my the multiple viewports working, boom, look at that. All my viewports are working perfectly. I did it. So that live view is really cool. But the best part of that live view is when you make a change, you can right away see its impact. So I'm going to just change the background color, which is going to be like a big change that is easy for us to notice. So I'm going to change it to like this red. Oh, also notice in VS Code how fun it is to change colors and settings like that. That's just kind of a cool feature as well. So I'm going to this obnoxious red. I go to the website and I'm disappointed. Oops, sorry. I go to my my web page. Sorry about that. I go to my web page and I'm disappointed when it pops up. Yeah, I'm really disappointed because it didn't just pop up. 1 second. I clicked. Don't show again. Go live. Oh, there it is. There we go. I'm surprised it actually worked. I'm actually a little surprised it worked because I didn't save it yet. Oh, somehow in the mix it did save it. But I'm going to go back to the old color. Forget the exact text that it was at. I'll just go somewhere around there. And just for fun, did it save it? Oh, it did. It must be saving as it's going there. Yep, it saved. And you can see it just changed the color, and it changed the color on all the pages. But we also kind of have a little bit of a history that you might want to get rid of, or keep, depending on if you want to compare and see how the different pages kind of have turned out and how they look. So I would encourage you to consider using this free tool. It works in a similar enough way to what you've been using, but it has all these extra features. I like IDEs. There's handy code completion. It corrects your spelling mistakes. When you make an error, it starts to notice the error and you can just tab through those errors. It's just a really useful tool. Give it some consideration. It's completely optional.